What's up, guys? And I'm doing a movie review right now. And I'm coming out of nowhere with this. I know this seems very unexpected, but this movie is so phenomenal that I have to talk about this in a video. And it is The Batman. The Batman? Alright. So, this film is a masterpiece. Basically, The Batman is a crime thriller / film noir comic book film, as everybody knows. It stars Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne / Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, Paul Dano as the Riddler, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, and Andy Serkis as Alfred. And I thought this movie was phenomenal. It's right up there with The Dark Knight, in my opinion. Right up there with The Dark Knight. Maybe The Dark Knight wins by a hair, but The Batman is so close. The 2022 Batman film. Yeah. And I've watched this movie twice already. Once in the theater, and then once online. So yeah. I had to make sure that I saw it a second time. Usually I don't do that for movies in the theater. But this film is so awesome, I just had to watch it again. So, yeah. Okay. So, basically what the movie is about is, it centers around a serial killer known as the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. And basically he leaves clues and riddles for the Batman to solve. And Batman, being the world's greatest detective, will stop at nothing to solve this mystery. Yeah. Basically, Robert Pattinson's Batman is unlike any Batman anyone's ever seen. I mean, he kind of has an identity crisis in this movie. Oh yeah, I wrote a script in advance, so if you see me turn away, I'm just looking at my script that I wrote. Alright. Yeah. He kind of has Bruce Wayne / Batman has an identity crisis in this movie. He's young, he's inexperienced, he doesn't know his purpose in life, he's grief-stricken, and he spends most of his spare time in the Batcave. He's kind of an introvert in this movie. And honestly, this is the Batman film. This is the one Batman I relate to on a personal level. Honestly, I believe Robert Pattinson is the greatest Batman ever put on screen. Yeah. In my opinion, I believe he is my new favorite. So, yeah. Yeah, Paul Dano is the greatest Riddler ever put on screen. I mean, I've pretty much never seen the Riddler like this before, as a real life serial killer. And I've always wanted to see that for a long time. I still have a soft spot for Jim Carrey's Riddler in Batman Forever because I grew up with that movie, watching it on VHS like several times. But yeah, so I'll always have a soft spot for Jim Carrey's Riddler. And honestly, the task he was given, I believe he nailed. But the thing is, like, the Riddler doesn't have to be that comedic like Jim Carrey did. But yeah. Yeah, and honestly, the Riddler feels almost like a real-life serial killer. You know what I mean? He feels very realistic, almost like, yeah, and he's completely insane, but knows when to be serious. He knows when to be grounded. He knows when to take the role seriously and when to be silly. And I think I think Paul Dano completely nailed it. And I'm sure Paul Dano will get a Best Supporting Actor nomination, but I do hope that Robert Pattinson might get some love too. But yeah, we'll see. I heard for the Riddler, Matt Reeves actually took inspiration from the Zodiac Killer and Jigsaw, the Saw movies, and the movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean. Alright. Alright, just reading my script. Oh yeah, Zoe Kravitz is an amazing Catwoman in my opinion. Possibly my favorite Catwoman. Her and Michelle Pfeiffer are kind of tied. Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns. I thought she did great as well. But yeah. I mean, Zoe Kravitz brings a lot to her character, and honestly, I think she's pretty attractive. Yeah. And, let's say, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, wow. Just, wow. Like, you almost forget that he's Colin Farrell. Honestly, I thought James Gandolfini was back from the dead. Remember Tony Soprano? So, yeah. I thought it was James Gandolfini that rose from the dead. I mean, he died about 10 years ago, so, yeah. Yeah, I hope, yeah. Like, you forget that he's Colin Farrell. I'm sure he'll get award praise, and maybe that makeup will. The makeup will practically win an Oscar. Well, we'll see next year. And Andy Serkis as Alfred is amazing. I actually really enjoyed... actually, I think I enjoy a lot, like, every Alfred actor gives it their all. I don't think there was an Alfred actor that I didn't like. Because Alfred is such a likable character. You just want to eat him up. He's so likable. You know what I mean? He almost is like a father to Batman. Or to Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? He's not just his butler. Since he was a butler for like about 4 decades with the Wayne family, like, you can tell he's almost like a father to Batman. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I thought Matt Reeves did an amazing job directing the movie, especially considering that this movie was filmed during a global pandemic, and the fact that Robert Pattinson, the guy who played Batman, actually tested positive for COVID halfway through filming, and I heard that Matt Reeves wasn't even on the set most of the time because he didn't want to be exposed to COVID, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of close contact in this movie. There's, like, tons of extras in this movie. You almost forget that it was filmed during a pandemic. And I heard that he was often communicating through earpieces. And I heard from many sources that Robert Pattinson, when he contracted COVID, he continued to film anyway. They decided to do that, which I believe is illegal. Which I believe might be illegal. But they had to get the movie done, you know what I mean? And everyone stayed as far as they could away from him because they didn't want to get sick. And surprisingly, I don't think anyone else got sick besides him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that they filmed that during COVID and had their main actor test positive. That's crazy. Anyway, like, I want to talk about some things that I really enjoyed about this movie. Alright. First of all, the cinematography is beautiful. This is the best looking Batman film I've seen since The Dark Knight. Well, yeah, the Christopher Nolan trilogy had wonderful cinematography as well, but this, as far as cinematography is concerned, is the best I've ever seen in a Batman movie. The set design is phenomenal. Like, this is the best, possibly the best Gotham I've ever seen. In Joker, I thought Gotham looked phenomenal as well. Like, very old. I thought that this movie was taking place in the 70s, but no. It takes place in modern day. So all those sources I heard were pretty much wrong. I was kind of surprised how modern this movie is. Like, there's so much technology, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be right for the movie to take place in the 70s. And I feel like, oh yeah, everybody gives top-notch performances. I don't think there's really a bad performance in this movie. Or at least none that really stuck out. Because everyone gives it their all. You can tell how much love was put into this film. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, the costumes and the makeup are great. I think I already mentioned that, but yeah. And even speaking of the makeup, whenever Batman takes his mask off, you actually see the makeup underneath his eyes. And that was never shown in a Batman film until now. Yeah, and I remember in Batman Returns, the eye makeup, right after he, like, rips his mask off, it disappears in between shots. Like, why would they do that? You know what I mean? Like, that always pissed me off. But I'm glad that this movie, like, literally, when you don't see him, most of the time you see his eye makeup. And even when he washes it off, there's still a bit of residue on his eyes. So I'm glad that was... I'm glad that they did that, because it actually shows how disturbed this Batman really is. It shows how empty he is. Yeah. Yeah. And the score, Michael Giacchino, I believe his name is, did the score for the film. And I thought the score was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I don't think there's ever a bad Batman score. This is probably my new favorite Batman score. I mean, I even downloaded it before the movie was even released. I downloaded the score. That's how good it is. Yeah. And the dark and scary tone, the tone was pretty much perfect. How dark and scary it looks. Yeah. And as I said, yeah, basically, I highly recommend this film, and if you have not seen it, just see it. Just see it if you can. You might have to wait like a week or two to, like, or pre-order your ticket, even though, yeah, pretty much the first week is booked, most likely. Yeah. Before I get into spoilers, I want to give a warning to parents before you take your kids to this movie. Yeah, and as much, this movie is rated PG-13 for strong, violent, and disturbing content, drug content, strong language, and some suggestive material. Yeah, even though this movie is PG-13, much like most Marvel movies, you might not want to take the kids to this movie because of how dark and intense and scary and violent this... Well, did I already say violent? I don't know. I forget. Yeah, you might not want your kids to watch this movie. It's basically... just think of it as an R-rated film. I mean... it feels like an R-rated film masquerading as a PG-13. Honestly, I was kind of campaigning this movie to get an R rating, but I knew that was never going to happen because Batman can't be rated R. It doesn't need to be rated R. You know what I mean? But from what I've seen in the trailers, I was like, are they going for an R rating? Are they going to follow in Joker's footsteps? And yeah, well, it does follow in Joker's footsteps, but it doesn't need to be R rated to do that. I mean, Joker was R rated. And it totally owned it because the Joker is a psychopath. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah, so think of it as an R-rated film. Like, parents of young kids, like, you might want to take your kids to this if they want to see the movie, but you have to show them the trailers first. Show them the trailers first, and then take your kid to it. You know what I mean? Or maybe see it yourself first. Maybe watch it on your own first, and then take your kids. If you feel like it's necessary. Alright. So, now this is the part where I mention spoilers. So, if you have not watched the movie yet, just watch the movie and then come back to this video. Alright. So, I'll give you a couple seconds and then we'll mention the spoilers. Alright. Alright, you've seen the movie? Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Why don't we? Alright, so, the Riddler gets very personal with Batman in this movie, even disrespecting Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's late father, his dead father. So yeah. The scene where the Riddler gets caught and Batman interrogates him in the Arkham Asylum is my favorite scene in the movie. You know, the scene where he goes, "What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?" And the Riddler just sings, "Oh, that money, what have you done?" That is such a phenomenal scene. And, like, you could tell, underneath the makeup, you see tears running down Batman's face. Or at least I noticed tears running down his face. So, yeah. Like, he really gets personal with Batman. Yeah, and speaking of the song Ave Maria, this is one of the nitpicks I have. I mean, Ave Maria was a good choice, but I would have preferred a hymn called Da Pacem Domine. I feel like that would have, you know, if you're a fan of WWE or if you're a fan of The Undertaker like I am, The Undertaker's my favorite wrestler. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame induction, by the way. Undertaker used Da Pacem Domine for the Druid entrance. And I feel like that would have fit Batman more, but Ave Maria was still a good choice. I also believe letting the Riddler and the Penguin live in the end will set up more danger in future installments of this franchise. I want there to be sequels of this movie. I want there to be an entire universe crafted about this movie, crafted from this movie, and I heard they plan on doing that. Matt Reeves is the freaking dude to do this, and I hope this turns out exactly as he hopes, or almost exactly as it hopes. So, yeah. Like, I really hope that this universe, this Batman universe, is almost like the MCU. I hope it turns out that way, but who knows what can happen. You know what I mean? This Batman universe has the potential to be better than the MCU. So, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a Joker cameo at the end, when Riddler is crying in the Arkham Asylum, and Joker's like, "Don't be sad. Riddle me this." I mean, I forget who plays the Joker in this. I think he's more of like an obscure actor. But it feels kind of weird. But who knows how it'll turn out in the sequel. Like, I think a lot of the Batman villains are going to be in the universe. And I heard that even Matt Reeves is planning on bringing Mr. Freeze back. And I might even contact him if I can, like through his social medias, saying, please bring back Mr. Freeze and give him a proper adaptation this time around, so that we could finally put Arnold Schwarzenegger's portrayal to rest. And I believe that this universe can give Mr. Freeze a proper adaptation. But that's just me. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Joker appearance is kind of weird, but who knows if it's actually the Joker? Could just be a psychopath, you know what I mean? It could just be a mentally ill person in that thing. Yeah. And the thing is, at the end, Batman doesn't win in the end. He just survives with Gotham being flooded. Also, the scene where Alfred gets blown up almost made me cry. It was a really powerful scene because I thought he was dead. Sorry, should have brought water with me. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And the scene where Bruce Wayne visits Alfred in the hospital was very heartbreaking. And, yeah, even though this movie is 3 hours long, it flowed perfectly in my opinion. Like, There are a lot of scenes that do take their time, that do drag on, but it does that for a reason. Because, yeah. Alright. Yeah. Like, if you're concerned about the movie's 3-hour runtime, well, 2 hours, 55 minutes, actually. But if you're concerned about the runtime, see the movie and then your fears will be over. You know what I mean? Because I, for one, really loved the runtime. Of the 3-hour runtime. I thought it was perfect. But yeah. Alright, let me address the elephant in the room. I know a lot of people are gonna hate this movie. I know this movie has a lot of haters and a lot of trolls. I've been a victim of trolling because of this movie, because I support this movie and everything like that. And this was before the movie was even released. I got trolls telling me that I shouldn't see this movie, that I'm wasting my life, that I'm an idiot for supporting this. Sorry, I don't have COVID. I don't, but yeah. It's just I'm out of breath from talking so much. This video's over 20 minutes already. But, alright, so yeah. But here's the thing. If you are criticizing this movie just because you hate Twilight, like, seriously, what is your problem? Just see this movie. This has nothing to do with Twilight, despite Robert Pattinson being in it. Like, there's no reason to hate this movie because of that reason. You know what I mean? And even Kristen's, don't get me wrong, Twilight is a very bad movie, possibly the worst movie ever made, but you cannot fault the actors for a bad movie. You can't do that. You have to blame the director. You have to blame the studio. Because they are those are the people that tell the actors what to do and how to act in the movie. So you cannot blame the actors for why Twilight was bad. You have to blame the director. You have to blame the studio. You have to blame Stephenie Meyer, the author. You have to blame the people in charge. Okay? Oh, sorry. I got a little off topic right there, but I'm just addressing the haters and calling them out on their bullshit. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, so yeah. Just see the movie. If it makes you happy and you want to see it, just see it. In my opinion. So, what did you guys think of this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I'm not sure what else I can say about this movie. Maybe I'll do a re-review when the movie comes out on Blu-ray. I can do a Riddler cosplay. I hope to be the Riddler from this movie in the Riddler from this movie on Halloween. So I might do a Riddler cosplay. Saying, if you are justice, please do not lie. So, hope you guys enjoyed this movie like I do. And, yeah. I hope you enjoyed my review. I know this is a very long video, 24 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you later. Bye.